Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and get started this morning on 8-3. The title for this is Display Data in Box Plots. We're going to start off with setting up our page, our notes page. Hopefully you're doing the same. Pause because this video might go a little bit fast for you. We're starting off with the definition of box plots. So the word goes on the left, the definition goes on the right. Box plots is a diagram, so it's like a type of visual or a type of display of numbers that shows the distribution of data values using the median, quartiles, minimum value, and lastly, the maximum values, or maximum value, there's only one. And it's on a number line. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. Before we do that, I'm going to start off with an example. Yesterday we learned about mean, median, mode, range. We're going to be using that information to start off. So we're going to make a table of lengths of fish in inches. So I have my units there, inches. Let's say Tony went out to fish and he caught a lot of fish. I'm writing down all the different sizes of fish that he caught. 7, 10, 18, 22 inches, 9, 13, 15, 11, 14, 10, 13, 15, 13, 17. All of these. Okay, so of course we already know how to do this. We're going to pull the data from all of the fish that he caught, and we are going to write them down from least to greatest. Now, when you come across this lesson today, it's going to ask you to find the minimum, the median, and the maximum values of the data given to you. So again, you start off with writing your numbers down from least to greatest, which I'm doing right now. It didn't fit, so I'm going to have to scoot it over to the left, make it a little smaller. Okay, so we're going to look for the minimum value. What does minimum mean? Minimum basically means the smallest number of your data set. So, of course, our smallest number here in this case is going to be 7. So I'm going to circle 7, and I'm going to label that as my minimum. The next step to do is to find the median. We already know how to find the median from yesterday, but we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to cross out each number each side until I get to the median, the middle number, which is 13. I'm going to identify that as the median. And lastly, we're going to find the maximum value of the data, which is 22. Maximum value means the largest number of your data set. Pretty straightforward, right? So now that we've found that, we're going to find what's new today, which is our quartiles, okay? Quartiles are values that divide a data set into 4 equal parts. So we're going to divide our data set into 4 equal parts. Right now, they're divided into maybe, we know the median. So when we find the median, it's halfway. We're finding half of that, and then half of the between the median and the maximum. So I'm going to write down all of my numbers again, which I already did. And I'm going to identify the same numbers that I found earlier, my minimum, median, and maximum. And basically, if the question asks you to find the median for each half, that means we're going to take a half of the half of your data set, basically. So here we have 7 and 13. That's 1/2. Half of that would be 10. 13 and 22 is another half, and the half of that would be 15. Now we're going to write these down. 15 is our third quartile. Okay, it's our third. 10 will be our first quartile. And then 13 is our second quartile. Do you guys see how it's been split into 4 different parts? Now we're not done there yet. Now we're going to learn how to draw the box plot. So you're going to draw a number line. And you have to draw your number line with the correct amount or the right numbers, right? Here we have 7 and 22. So I'm going to do a number less than 7 and then a number larger than 22. So I'm going to start at 6 and I'm going to end at 23 in my number line. So I'm going to label my number line from 6 to 23 because our data goes from 7 to 22. All right, we're going to go back. So we have to remember our minimum, median, and maximum values. We have 7, 13, and 22. I'm going to label them here again so I know where they are at. My minimum is 7, median 13, and my maximum is 22. Now I have to label my first quartile, second quartile, and the third quartile. So I'm going to do that again. My first quartile was 10, my second was 13, and then my third was 15. Hopefully you're following along just fine. Just make sure to pause if I'm going too fast, which I think I probably am. Now, here it gets a little tricky. I draw my minimum line and my maximum line at the top, and then I'm going to draw my box between the first quartile and the third quartile, and then I'm going to label my median right in the middle. This is what a box plot is, okay? Now, I'm going to remind you, so when you do this, you show a number line. So you're going to draw a number line with the appropriate numbers. Remember, I wrote 6 through 23 because my box plot goes from 7 to 22. You are going to draw a box between the first and third quartile. So in this case, I kind of messed up a little bit because I should have done my box a bit smaller. I should have put my box where 10 is and end up at the I messed up there at the first quartile. I should have drawn my box at the beginning there. But anyways, you draw a box between the first and third quartiles and then a vertical line that shows the median. So do you see that I put a line where the median is? That's exactly what a box plot is. Like I said, I did mess up there in the first quartile. I should have drawn my box starting at the first quartile. So go ahead and fix that on your notes. I don't have time because I'm going to post this video soon. Anyways, let's go to our math books and go to page 487 and number 13. I'm going to do that as an example for you so you know what to do on your math assignment this morning. So it's given us a data set of numbers, so I'm going to write them down from least to greatest once I've written them down already. So let me write them down real quick. I'm not writing them down from least to greatest quite yet, but this is the numbers that it's given me. And they don't fit again, so I'm going to have to shrink them a little bit. Now I'm going to write them down from least to greatest. Hopefully I write down all of the numbers. I'm going to cross them out as I go. 42, 43, there's a 44, there's a 47, 48, 49, Oh, I forgot the other 48, so I'm going to go back. 48, 49, 52, and 54. They barely fit. Okay. So I'm going to identify, again, all of the things that I need to identify first. I'm going to start off with the median. So in this case, 44 is the median, which is also the second quartile. If you like to pause here and identify the rest of them by yourself and see if you know what you're doing, you can totally do that. We have the minimum value, which is 40, and then we have the maximum value, which is 54. And then we're going to take half of the half, 40 to 44. Half of that is 42, which is our first quartile. We're going to do the same, 44 to 54. Half of that is 48, so that's our third quartile. Hopefully it's making more sense to you now. I'm going to go ahead and draw my box plot real quick. Now, my number ranges from 40 to 54, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with 35, which is 5 less, and 55. So I'm going to count by fives to make this smaller, 35 to 55. Remember, you have to make this number line to match with your numbers. Now, remember, your first quartile and your third quartile is what makes your box. Your first quartile and your third quartile. So you start off at 42 and end at 48, and then you draw your line right in the middle, which is the median, which is 45. And that's what a box plot is. I'm going to see if I can fix this a little bit because it doesn't look exactly like a box plot. Right there, and then my median. Perfect.